MTG Scoundrels. It's in the cardboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, scoundrels of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Modern Weekly. Today on the docket, we have ourselves some Esper Frog versus Eldrazi Tron. Of course, Eldrazi Tron in this case being the one that was played at the Pro Tour with Portent of Calamity. And while Frog decks didn't do too well at the Pro Tour, the Frog in the sky keeps on turning. Looks like we are about to get into game one here. Starting with a pre-game action, it looks like. Devour a Destiny. Looking in the top four. Putting up to one back. And exiling the rest. Alright. Exiling 3 lands, including an island here. Should be noted that that should be done at the beginning of your upkeep. You just reveal the Devourer. Not that it ultimately matters in this case. Here's a Thoughtseize. Three targets and 4 lands. Looks like we have an Ugin, a Devourer, and a Sire of 7 deaths. Risky keep here. That'll bring us to 15 to 20. There's a Tron land. Pass the turn. Polluted Delta. That'll get cracked. Finding a Hollowed Fountain. That'll bring us to 12 to 20. And there is Psychic Frog, one of the strongest cards in the format. And here's a Talisman of Curiosity. A tower and power plant on the battlefield. Fatal Push being discarded to the Psychic Frog. And Psychic Frog's going to get in for 2. There is the backside of Sink into Stupor. That'll bring us to 9 to 18. And passing the turn. And there's a tale as old as time. Turn 3 Tron. And a Devourer of Destiny. Exiling the Frog. And no counterspell, I guess. Scooping it up from there. Game 1. Just like that, going to Eldrazi Tron. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. Now, Esper Frog's going to bring in a bunch of stuff here, mostly Consign to Memory, more counter spells, stuff of that nature. Could see upwards of like 8 cards coming in. Eldrazi Tron is probably just going to shuffle them up and call it good. Though you could see the 3rd copy of Disruptor Flute coming in, because it actually isn't too bad of a call into Tamiyo or specifically Psychic Frog. Being able to get rid of the ability to grow the frog prolongs the game. And you saw at the Pro Tour there was up to 3 copies main sometimes. And sometimes even 4 between sideboard and main deck. Moving into our ads, thank you so much to our friends over at Arcane Artistry. They make wonderful food glue and treasure tokens in the stained glass style. Check out their link in the description below. And they've been featured over on EDH Hijinks as well as the Spike Feeders. And of course this channel. So definitely check them out. And of course check out our friends over at Grove Warden Games. Wonderful place to storm out. Link to their website in the description below. And of course check out our friend Sean Gerard, artist of this channel. Makes wonderful art, both for a professional setting or a personal setting if you would like. Instagram link up on the screen and their email in the description below. They are in fact open to new projects. And of course check out our socials. We are at MTGScoundrels over on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Facebook. Feel free to interact with us there. We talk about the format as well as other things. And let us know in the comments below what decks you are looking forward to now that the Pro Tour is over and going into future RCs. And thank you so much for the recent support. We've been climbing fast, especially after our recent overview of the Modern format, as well as our recent video going over the Modern Pro Tour. So thank you so much for that growth. All right, we are about to move into game number 2 here. It's a very quick first game. But games afterwards in this match definitely get better for the Esper Frog player. Going to 6, starting out with the Devourer of Destiny. Once again, doing the trigger too soon. You would think you'd remember how to do this, but here we are. Just a polluted Delta impasse. It doesn't matter too much, but man. Polluted Delta being cracked. Going to 19, probably finding Undercity Sewers here. Tron piece on the table as a power plant. Flooded Strand and pass. There is a mine into a map. In passing, Flooded Strand being cracked here. Finding a hollowed fountain. And looks like on end step, we'll be getting a flashed in Orcish Bowmasters. Dealing 1 to the Tron player. Making an Orc army. getting in for 2. There is a Tamiyo and passing the turn. Turn 3 Tron, a tale as old as time. Will it matter here? Frog player holding up consign. And there's the Devourer of Destiny. That's going to get consigned. At least the trigger to exile a permanent. There's a Marsh Flats. To a Sheoldred's Edict. That'll deal with the Devourer very well. Attacking in. Bringing us to 16 to 15. Untapping. Drawing for turn. Eldrazi Temple is the land for turn. There is a Karn the Great Creator. That'll get hit with a Force of Negation. Passing the turn. Holding up K command, it looks like. This would probably be the spot where you'd think about just firing off the K command in response to the fetch. The Force of Negation already being used. Attacking it again. Second clue being made by the Tamiyo. That'll bring us to 15 to 13. Cracking the map on end step. Finding a tower. Untapping, drawing. There's the tower. 12 possible mana. And there is Emrakul, the Promised End. And that's going to get hit with a counterspell. Still being able to take the opponent's turn. But not a great spot. With the 1 floating mana, gonna dismember the Tameo here. They'll bring us to 15-9. Consign off the top, and nothing to counter because it's an activated ability from the clue. Not a great spot in taking the opponent's turn. And passing. Alright. That's just a rough spot. Like, do you draw a card? I don't think you do. Even for the knowledge, necessarily. There's a polluted delta. You know about the consign in hand. Getting attacked for 2. That'll bring us to 15-7. There's an island. And passing. And here's K command, which probably should have been popped off earlier. Consign's going to counter that. Fetching on the end step. Going to 14. Finding a tapped Watery Grave. There's a Thoughtseize. In response, Dismember's going to hit the Bowmaster. That puts you to 12-3. Just showing the land. Oh, and attacking in, and there's the Kaido. And that'll do it for Game 2. Game 2 going to Esper Frog. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. We appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. We are on that train to 500 subscribers and 1,000 subscribers. So definitely hit that sub button if you haven't yet. And if you enjoy our content. As we keep bringing you more Modern Magic the Gathering. The format we love here so much. And if you make it to this point of the video, let us know what you think can be unbanned in the format. Or if you would like to see a video about that. That gets very popular every time the format gets to a good place. I start kind of thinking, oh, well, what could we unban? What would be safe? There's a few different options. But let us know what you think down below. Alright, moving into game number 3 here for all the marbles. Starting off with a Tron land and passing. Polluted Delta for the Frog player. There is a tower. And possibly passing the turn here. Cracking the polluted delta. There is a disruptor flute in response. Not a bad way to possibly get rid of one of the pesky counterspells. So that might have to be answered here. There it is. That's going to get Forced of Negation. Looks like exiling a Quantum Riddler there. Finding the other city sewers. We'll have a Surveil incoming. Keeping it top. Swamp and go. Do we have a third straight turn 3 Tron? No, just a Bajuka Bog. That'll exile the bin. Passing the turn. End step, Orcish Bowmaster. K command in response to the ETB. Scrying drawing and making a spawn here. Targeting the spawn, but sacking the spawn in response. So no Orc army being made. Watery Grave coming in untapped. Bowmaster attacking in. There is a Tamiyo passing the turn. And before moving to attacks, here is a K command exiling the Tamiyo, making a dude. Bowmaster getting in for 1. Oh, getting in for 3, excuse me. Kaido being flashed in here. Kaido, a pretty strong card for some of these Dimir lists and Esper lists. Activating the Kaido. Surveil 2, draw 1. Looks like leaving them both top, drawing a card. And this is where the Frog player wants to be. There's no pressure on the Kaido. You put a Bowmaster back in hand. And now you're at minimum drawing 2 cards a turn. There is a map. Looks like map is going to be cracked here. Finding the missing Tron piece. So Tron is now assembled. And we'll see what happens from there. Drawing for turn. Fourth land. This is where Frog can really shut the door quickly. Here's a Bowmaster. It's going to target the spawn. The spawn's going to get cracked to stop the Orc army from coming in. Kaido's going to attack in for 3. That'll bring us to 17 to 13. Activating the Kaido. Leaving them both top again, drawing a card. Passing the turn. And here's a Devourer of Destiny. That's going to get consigned with Replicate, so the exile being taken care of and the creature being taken care of. Here's a Thoughtseize. I mean, that's not a bad hand. Sire, Emrakul, Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, and all is dust. That is a difficult spot. What do you take here? I mean, I guess it depends on what your interaction is in hand. Hit a Tron land or an E-Temple and Ulamog can be cast the next turn. Here's Thoughtseize. Again. So dealing with Emrakul and Ulamog. That's not bad. And you still have 2 mana up. We'll be at 13-13. Attacking it again. 13-9. Surveilling 2 lands to the bin, drawing a card. Wow, there is the E-Temple. Still have 2 blue up, though. Impressive way to deal with threats. Just keep drawing cards and double Thoughtseize. Alright, here's a Sire 7 Deaths. That's going to get counterspelled. Untapping. And drawing for turn. That is kind of the problem, is you really want to double spell as much as you can. Kaido's going to plus here. That's going to give a emblem of +1/+1 to all ninjas. And attacking in for 5. That'll bring it to 13-4. And all these cards up as well. Oh, and there's a Tameo. Here's Annulla's Dust. There's the Force of Negation, and that'll do it. No blue mana for the Portent. And that'll be game, set, match. Going to Esper Frog. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. And we will see you all next week.